welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are taking a look at a Mardu control deck. Now that I've done the video with MTG Nerd Girl talking about the Mythic Invitational, we're probably done with those best of one lists for a while. I've got a few more best of one lists that I'm using on the ladder that I want to share, but just to let you know, as we go forward into the channel, I'll be playing with a bit more best of three than before, and probably get back into some janky brews in the near future. A lot of you probably found and enjoyed some janky different decks played off ladder, but this is a deck I have been hitting the ladder a little bit with and enjoying, as it's a little bit different from all the other decks out there. So we'll get this out of the way, then we'll probably switch into some best of three and some janky brews, which I'm sure some of you have been missing. I've been talking about the Mythic Invitational a lot. It was a huge moment in my life, so it's hard to stop talking about it. It was very exciting and I loved so many things about it. But so if any of you were getting tired of hearing Mythic Invitational, we're past it. We've moved along. So we'll get back to some wacky decks and we'll play some best of three. But for today, I'm going to show this deck, which I've been using on ladder, and it's pretty competitive. It's not the greatest. You might look at it right away and see a few flaws right away. Control decks are particularly obnoxious, and because of that, we have a lot of modal cards like Carnival, Carnage, and Bedeck, Bedazzle that aren't completely dead. They function as removal against aggro, but they aren't completely dead cards when we play against control. They at least do something. I actually have had many games, because my opponent didn't really respect this card, where I've been able to kill a Minus Teferi and blow up an Iskanta, the Sunken Ruin, at the same time. So the card isn't without its play in the Bedazzle mode. Also, against creature decks, we're Mardu. We're just kill, 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 and kill. And against control decks, we just need to remove their win cons. So when we do play against Esper, we get into very long games, and the goal of them is to Banefire all the Teferis or Contempt all the Teferis, while forcing the opponent to use their counter magic on things like Karn Scion of Urza, Carnage, or Mastermind's Acquisition. Now, using Mastermind's Acquisition to access the sideboard, we have a variety of one-ofs to try to help us not die and win games. One of my absolute favorites is Captive Audience. So what you might see coming up in the games is if our opponent gets to like 50 life using, say, a Wild Growth Walker or some white lifelinkers, it might not be reasonable to Banefire them out, which is the primary win con of the deck. But if we can get a Captive Audience and get them to turn their life total to 4, it becomes child's play. And I've actually had to use that line on multiple occasions. Think of Captive Audience, besides being really cool, as being a burn spell for as much as you need it to be to get the opponent to 4 life. The rest is just some hit and miss stuff. Sometimes you need a Profane Procession, sometimes you need a Kaya. It all depends, and I look forward to seeing what we mastermind up in the games. Let's go hit the ladder and see how it's going. Alright, this hand has the early Clarion. A Banefire might cut off something like a Steamkin. We can keep it. It's okay. If the opponent's not playing creatures, I'll be sad, but of course they're playing creatures. What am I talking about? Everybody plays red. Alright, let's let that Godless Shrine hit the battlefield. See how many light up the stages our opponent has for us here. A Viashino Pyromancer. Ouch. So how greedy do I get? Do I Banefire to cut off some damage, planning to Clarion anyway? I think I just play a tapped Shock Land to make sure that my mana flows okay. The basic mountain's a little bit unfortunate. It doesn't cast Kaya's Wrath, but I don't know, because what could happen is that we Clarion these creatures, the opponent plays 2 more threats, then we need to Kaya's Wrath. That's not very likely from the red mage. Skewer. Okay, it's not a light up the stage. And they say go. Let's get them. And here's a Wizard's Lightning, I'm sure. Never leave home without it, red mage. I mean, the opponent could have had an extra point of damage if they did that last turn, so I'm curious what they were playing around. And now they're passing the turn. It's kind of surprising. I could Carnage them, guaranteed to hit 2 spells here. That's a big deal, as those spells will have to be dealt with eventually. It's unfortunate if the opponent draws a haste creature, because the shields would be down and we wouldn't get to contempt it before taking the damage. But otherwise, oh, Rekindling the Phoenix, and a shock, a castable, which tells me there's probably 2 lightning strikes in this hand. Oh boy, but the opponent did not lightning strike me on end step. Maybe it's a skewer and a wizard's lightning. Here is the Steamkin. Now we can contempt it and gain that life, which I think I should just do now. Use my mana this turn, get that little bit of life buffer before I take any other damage. Draw a Clarion, okay. A Karn would be nice. I could make some Karn Structs, give them lifelink. Mastermind's Acquisition would be very nice. The opponent's sitting on that light up the stage and hitting 2 land. But we are drawing all the land we need as well. Up to 7. And now the opponent has enough mana. Is it Frenzy time? It's Goblin Chainwhirler time. Alright. That little stick the opponent just saw where the priority freezes, that tells the opponent I have a removal spell, but I want to hang on to Mortify. Mortify has a special use, and that special use is to eliminate the Experimental Frenzy. So I think here I need to Banefire the Chainwhirler. Waiting for double Banefire on face is probably unreasonable. I like holding back the Kai's Wrath and Deafening Clarion. They both have like hidden modes to gain life if I draw a Karn. Let's see. The opponent have like a way to give this +1 somehow, some sneaky way. I may as well crank it up. I can still hold up a Mortify if I decide to use it. It's the arena. I know that they don't usually play pump effects in red decks, but like anything can happen in the arena. You don't know who you're playing against. You know what their collection status is like. That's a really good draw if we draw like 1 more permanent, right? 1 more permanent, we start drawing 2 cards a turn. That's why we run the Arch of Arazga. Our opponent finally throws that lightning strike. And here's the Frenzy. Does it hit a 1-drop? Okay. Die, Frenzy, die. Away with you. No more Frenzy. Here's the Steamkin, another Mortify. I think I like... So this one can gain the life as soon as we have any creature on the battlefield, like a Construct. This one has to give lifelink, and the Construct has to hit. So I'm going to use this one. And yes, I've Kai's Wrath my own Construct for a life point before against red, because the difference between 3 and 4 is tremendous. Again, hold the Mortify as long as you can. Don't lose to Experimental Frenzy. Down to 5 life. This comes in tapped. We can play this, but then we can't draw a card, or we can Mortify this and draw a card. If the opponent had another Frenzy, we would have seen it, but Frenzy is still the way that we're most likely to lose the game. So I'm going to Kai's Wrath away the Chainwhirler. Ouch. That sucks. And is it lethal? That's the question now. What is the last card from our opponent? It's a mountain. Alright, my turn. Land off the top. Let's see what we draw. It's a Karn. Karn with bad timing is what it is. Well, we can make the token if the opponent removes it. I guess a Goblin Chainwhirler would be lethal. Yeah, that's the one thing we're not playing around is a Chainwhirler. Our opponent's already drawn 2 of them. So with 2 left in the deck, that's a pretty small out amount. So yeah, let's go for the token and hold the Mortify. Because I think if Karn lives through the turn and gets to start plussing without paying extra mana next turn, that's our best chance. Okay, going to 1. Come on. Help me, deck. Ouch. That kind of sucks. Let's draw... Let's draw the card. Ouch. Okay. Let's make the Construct. This allows me to draw Deafening Clarion or Kaya's Wrath and gain life next turn. And the card off the top is a mountain, so we have a chance. The opponent can trade for one of these constructs now, which is a good move on their part. They should do that. Alright, let's draw the card, see what we find. Ouch. Not going well yet. Alright, let's make this. Flood at the wrong time. Let's hope our opponent has the same issue. I suppose I'll play this so I can scry and mortify if I need to. Let's start the pain train. And hold your breath. It is face damage. No! I got two bedazzles and treasure map. Should be able to kill some early stuff and find some good stuff, I hope. See if this game can go a little bit better than the last one. And another mountain, so off to these races again. We got some lag on the server, what's going on? What is going on? Check my internet connection over here. Seems fine. So, I don't know, something's up. Red, blue. Drakes? Should be good if we can draw Kaya's Wrath and Mortify. Will be bad if we're stuck trying to kill them with Bedazzles and Carnival Carnage. So this is a draw the right stuff kind of matchup, I would say. Also Arclight Phoenix. How do we exile that? Gonna need the cards from our Mastermind's acquisition. Lag is really bad though. I don't know if it's got to be our connection. I must be playing against somebody from far away on an old modem. Is that Jeskai? What is happening here? Jeskai Drakes. Deafening Clarion, Crackling Drake combos, probably. Drake players who don't like losing to white and red, they end up in Jeskai. I'm definitely going to start scrying right away. I'm already at risk of flooding out badly and having the wrong cards, so I'm going to start scrying on my draw step. So do I leave up a Bedazzle? I think I get the tap land out of the way, because I think the odds of playing this are very low. It's very tempting to just concede, leave, and restart a game like this when it's this laggy, when every play takes so long. I keep hoping it will get better, though. Hard to walk away. Put in comments what you would prefer. If the game's a little bit laggy and going slower than normal, would you prefer that I got a new game? Or are you fine with hitting the 2x speed button up there in the corner under the gears and settings where you can change how fast you watch your YouTube videos? I know for a fact many people watch me on 2x speed. So here I'm going to take my draw step because most likely I'm going to play Karn. And there we go. There might be a negate or a spell pierce, but I think it's worth going for a Karn. It also feels a little bit like when you play Sparky, the AI. I'm going to plus Karn. I'm not minusing for constructs at this stage. I need more cards, and I need better cards, and the deck really doesn't want to give them to me, but I should be grateful that I'm taking them off the top of my library and putting them somewhere else. Are we lightning striking Karn? Because if we're double lightning striking Karn, okay. That's not the worst thing that could happen. Perhaps we're shocking Karn. I'm not sure. Let's wait and find out. Okay. He doesn't feel pain, but he does lose loyalty. Let's mark that upkeep. Let's try to treasure map away these endless lands that we seem to be stuck with. I could be getting rid of my opponent's white sources, but probably better to get rid of their other blue source in Sulfur Falls. But I would need 2 mana to bedazzle a land like that. The opponent doesn't seem to have found a Drake yet, or to set up quite what they need. They could be working on a Niv Mizzet, which, if they're a Niv deck, that is very dangerous. Our answers to Niv are very limited. Of course we can just mortify or contempt it, but the opponent drawing cards, and especially if they set up a dive down or something like that, just such a backbreaker. And the Clarion is not good against 4 toughness drakes, so that has to go as well. We have a lot of fodder in our deck, unfortunately. So do we make Karnstructs? I honestly think we keep plussing Karn. I think we need more of the right cards. And we need to find them as quickly as possible. There's 2. We found 2 of the right cards, so we definitely get 1, and the other one is in the Karn box. If Karn lives a turn, we get that. I could play around a Spell Pierce, but the opponent doesn't have that open, so I can play this treasure map for 2, and play another tap land, which the opponent already knows about, and scry with it. And we will pass the turn. And I think we're pretty fortunate if our opponent is on a Drake version of this, which all the discoveries and Chart of Courses imply. They haven't found that Drake yet. I also love that their name is Tricolor and they are playing a Tricolor deck. Way to be on brand. So here's a Drake. They know about the Wrath. They know about the Wrath. Do they have an island? Okay, Hallowed Fountain with the Shock. That sets up something like a dive down, something to protect their Crackling Drake. A negate. Those are all options. So the idea is, do we untap and go for Kai's Wrath when they have negate? Or do we try to minus the Karn to get a Banefire, which can't be countered? You would think that the way they played this is to set it up so that this can't be countered, but they could have dive down and negate. Also, I'm already playing around Spell Pierce. Well, we'll definitely start with this treasure map. I don't want to upkeep treasure map. I want all my mana on deck after we see what we draw. Really drawing another Mortify, though. Some backup removal spell to the Kaya's Wrath would be so ideal. So I could... I could double deck Bedazzle if this gets countered. One thing I know is that I want the Banefire in my hand. So there's that. Let's play the land. Let's play the Kaya's Wrath. Now, I could burn all of my treasures by flipping this treasure map and double Bedazzling. Okay, no negate. Alright. So it does appear to be like a dive down type strategy, which Hexproof still stops the Banefire. That doesn't count as countering the Banefire. So dive down stops Banefire on a Drake. Just so everybody's on the same page here on the CGB channel. Opponent shocks again. Is it Niv time? It could be Niv time. And it is Niv time with 1 mana open, implying dive down. Alright. This is going to be tough. We need to somehow find a way to get that off the board. And my god, do we need to stop hitting land. Come on, treasure map. You're supposed to fix these draws, not find me more of the same. Now we also have a sneaky tactic if we can find a cheap removal spell of using Bedazzle on our opponent's land. And then they'll add a mana, we'll pass the phase, clear it, and then kill the Niv some other way. But we need the right mana to do it. I have to bottom this because it's more land. As much as I'd love to draw the cards from it sometime in the future. I'm just looking for a Mortify or Vraska's Contempt here. Come on now. Another Kaya's Wrath wouldn't make me angry either. So I think I need this mana boost. So I need to draw the right thing. I may as well treasure map on the upkeep here to find it. Opponent's thinking. Mastermind's Acquisition. Okay then, the sideboard has a few cards. A Profane Procession could be exciting. How much mana am I going to have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana. Getting a Profane Procession would be pretty bad though. I think getting a Kaya's Wrath would be best, as it would completely finish the job. But it would let the opponent draw 2 cards. Could be worse. Alright, we'll keep it. And the first thing I'm going to do in case of a trigger warfare is activate the Karn. Keep it going up so it's hard to remove here. Still having a lot of trouble finding the right cards. Alright, so we do this. Ouch. And then Kaya's Wrath, I think? We're gonna feel it. We're gonna feel it. The Niv is going to draw a number of cards and do a number of damage. And you're going after Karn. Maybe you have the Shock to finish off the Karn. So do I have anything sneakier than the Kaya's Wrath to finish this thing? Not exactly. Not exactly. Alright. Wrath it is. Vraska's Contempt doesn't play around the dive down, so we can't do that one. Play the land. We need another black, black, white, and white. And here we go. So if the opponent has a shock here, Karn dies, and they draw another card, which is frustrating.
This will not deter me.
And there it is. And now we find out if the opponent is just sitting on another Niv anyway. We also don't know our opponent has dive down, but man does it make sense from the way that they've played the entire game. And we played around it the entire game. The question always is, can you play around it forever? When the moment comes that you can't play around the dive down, you want to have double removal. You want to be able to respond to dive down with another removal spell. Hopefully we're getting to that point. We have a lot of mana. Unfortunately, we also have a lot of land. So much land. Jesus. Opponent plays chart and passes with all these cards. They might be removal spells. Let's see what we can draw with one treasure before we play our land for turn. Carnival Carnage. Well, I think we can go after the opponent's hand. It's a better use of our mana than nothing. And some chip shot damage can get us close to that lethal Banefire, which the opponent knows about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So next turn can be lethal. Wait, was this turn lethal? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was. I'm a bad CGB, okay? Okay, get... man, don't make me hate YouTube. Don't beat me up too hard. Don't spam me. Don't spam me with the missed lethal. Don't unsubscribe, please. I need you in my life. I live for your approval. YouTube comments. It's all I ever do. All I want is some encouragement. Please don't tell them I'm the worst Magic player alive because I missed a lethal Banefire, please. What if they have a Revitalize? Yeah, that's it. I'm playing around Revitalize. I'm a big brain Magic player. I see all the angles. If I lose to this Revitalize, there's gonna be so much told you so. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know how our opponent would gain 1 life, so we'll just go for the 13. Bang. Okay. All's well that ends well. But if my YouTube channel is deleted tomorrow and I never return, it will be the shame of the missed lethal. Dub's Banefire. On the play, these can kill early things like Steamkins, although against like decks like green, like this has some problems, might not be able to kill the larger creatures. And the Deafening Clarion's okay. I'll keep it. We've got our colors, we've got a treasure map. I probably shouldn't ask for more. Is it a Lanny? It's a Pelt Collector. I can shoot a Pelt Collector. I could also let the Pelt Collector live and plan to Clarion it, along with whatever else the opponent plays to pump the Pelt Collector, which would let me play my map now. I think I like that better. Hold off on those Banefires. I hear they can go face. Just a vicious rumor. I didn't want the Upkeep Scry there. I wanted to consider my options. Now what I'm thinking about is like a Gruul Spellbreaker, but that can get Clarioned if the opponent gives it haste. What's the other 3-drop this deck often plays? Jade Light Ranger, Thrashing Brontodon would be bad. We have a Kai's Wrath now, though. I like leaving the Pelt Collector alive because it gets swept up pretty easily here and is not an impressive clock at this time. So, let's hold off. It also encourages my opponent to play more creatures. Here's a Spellbreaker. And they go with the 4/4, playing around that Clarion. Alright. Let's see what we find. I don't need another land at this time. I don't want the upkeep stop. I want to see my draw and consider it before deciding how to spend the mana. Okay. So, land easy mode. After that, I could Kai's Wrath these away. I could also play another treasure map and be greedy. Let's not be greedy. Because I think the next thing we're going to have to kill is a Rekindling Phoenix. And we'll need, like, Clarion and Banefire to tag team a Phoenix. Well, now I'm sad. I didn't think about the Ferox too hard. You just never quite know what these decks are packing. I'll keep the Contempt for sure because of Rekindling Phoenix. And next turn we can flip it and also pay for it and use it on the Ferox. But another Kai's Wrath would be very nice. It's also pretty sad to miss a land drop when you're facing the Null Hide. Now we'll see if the opponent plays anything to go with their Null Hide. 5 mana. Well, it wasn't a Hellkite. And they're saying go, so see what we can do. Carnival Carnage. We could attack their hand and take 6 more. Sounds terrible. Yeah, I think you can go away and try to draw something better here. I do think I need to take this draw step. No, I can flip this map. I want to land, really. I want to save my treasures, but I plan to flip this map anyway to use the Vraska's Contempt. So, put that away, draw a card. It is the land, worked out well. It at least preserves one of our treasures, so we don't have to use all of it on the Ferox. Also, when do we want what do we want here? Do we want to use this on our turn? I think I want to use this on my opponent's turn. I was just thinking about several things, Galta always being one of them, but let's wait till we get into attacks. Pay your cost. Contempt you. I do contempt you. The opponent with a lightning strike for my face. Interesting timing. Kind of a retaliation type timing, a retaliation mentality very often in Magic where they feel like, well, you played a thing, I'm gonna play a thing. Whether or not the timing is particularly great. Another Null Hide. Oh, crap. Well, we've got a lot of Mortifies in the deck. We've got a lot of good ways to deal. Let's see if we can find one. On cue. And again, I think waiting is probably best. Just in case it messes with our opponent's ability to cast something on their turn, like a Vivian Reed. Here's a Pelt Collector. Okay, we don't want that to... Well, we don't care if this grows to a 2/2. We're going to Clarion it away anyway. Let's let that resolve. Alright, let's make some mana. Pay that cost to be the boss and mortify. I guess I didn't think about Collision Colossus, when I said I didn't mind the Pelt Collector growing, so that could have been a mistake in hindsight. Not a card I was thinking about at the time. I haven't played this matchup, I think, ever, to be honest. The Gruul Mardu matchup. So because of that, do I want to use a Banefire instead? We're almost at the point where double Banefire starts looking lethal. But I'm also at a point where I'm going to draw a bunch more cards than my opponent. If I do this for 3, and the opponent does, in fact, play the Collision Colossus, I can just Banefire for 1. Double Collision Colossus would be a bit of a blowout, but then our opponent still only has a 2/2 Pelt Collector left over. I always select both modes just because. Don't ask. I'm always paranoid that I'm going to miss a mode. Like, that I'm going to select the wrong one. Because at times in Arena's history, I don't know if you've played it. I played it since the very beginning of open beta. They flipped which side of the mode things are on. So it's just a paranoia that I forgot where it goes. And if you wonder what the blue was for, this is probably it. Hydrate Crassus, here to grind a little bit with our deck. That's fine. My deck doesn't mind grinding. Carnival Carnage can hit the hand. Mortify can hit the Crassus. Our opponent's 20 life. Yeah, double Banefire is still not quite the option. I do feel like I should save this since we know our opponent's on the Ferox plan. So I can do this for 4. Let's see, if I Carnage though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, I would have to pay a treasure. So I guess I'll Mortify and Carnage probably. Sounds better to me. And there is a Ghalta, showing our opponent does play Ghalta, and they kept something they really like. Probably another Hydrate Krasis, to be honest. There's not many other cards I would keep in that scenario. So I'm going to kill this now just in case of another Ghalta. And I'm going to take my extra draw with the treasure in case it's a land, so I can keep hitting my land drops. And we'll say go. Let the battle continue. It's a Growth Chamber Guardian. It's pretty darn good. I guess that's a card I would keep that I didn't think about. And we'll see if the opponent plays out the other Guardian here, but they do not. Wisely, you don't want to run it out to die. Let's see what we draw off these treasures. I'm probably Banefiring this Growth Chamber Guardian. But this definitely gets our opponent back in the game, and me drawing those lands definitely gets the opponent back in the game. I'll go with 5, you never know. It's the arena, they might have a negate. Sounds crazy, but so was the Simic Ghalta deck. So we burned all of our treasures, and our opponent's going to keep making more creatures here. Very scary. Very scary indeed. And they're also pacing incredibly well with the Zertog Goblin coming down here doing 2, but the Growth Chamber is a 4, making Clarion awkward, and we've drawn, I think, 5 land in a row. So things are falling apart. Things are quickly falling apart. Still 2 more Growth Chamber Guardians to go. Alright, let's knock you out. I think I'm going to save the Clarion and hope to catch one more thing. I think taking 2 going to 6 is a little scary, but it is what it is. The Flood's been not cool. It's not been cool. And we do get another Goblin out of the deal. So we just need to draw... Oh, they don't play the Growth Chamber Guardian. Wow. That's a little bit of a relief. They finally didn't play around the Clarion, which gives us the tiniest chance. And we have a treasure map to try to fix this horrendous draw once and for all. But at 4 life, we're just dead to something like a Skargan Hellkite. Here's the Guardian. One more crab people to go in the deck. Those bonus cards, certainly a big payoff here. And the opponent also has a lot of mana, so another Hydrate Krasis is devastating. Alright, and again. It does the job. Opponent's at 17. I do wonder if I just Banefired face, but now we're going to be out of Banefires, but we're going to have to use Mastermind's Acquisition to find another way to win. Ethereal Absolution, I think, could be a very good one. Just making all these creatures smaller and cranking out kind of endless 2/2s. But our opponent might have a good way to deal with an enchantment. I wonder. Anyway, this is going to be a huge sequence. We have to find another removal spell. We're at 4. The top of the deck, Vraska's Contempt. Let's draw some more cards and see if we can find something else. It also appears desperate, which I always like to appear a little desperate and then break the opponent's heart. Another map. Excellent. And we play this tapped. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go ahead and play around a Gulta here. And pass the turn. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, Karn, you're late. I don't think I can keep you as much as I want to. Although, let's see, I would see 2 cards. Yeah, it's too... I can't keep the Karn there. Doesn't do the job. Doesn't do the job. Doesn't do the job. Oh my god. Hit me. Doesn't do it. We're gonna go to 2, my friends. But we need to draw 1 more removal spell to clean up this bird. And the card on the top of the deck is Nullhide Ferox. Oh god, that makes for a good wrath. We just have to find 1 more removal spell, and we've got several draws to do it. Okay, that will do. That will do. Draw. Main. So before I do it though, let's draw some bonus cards and see what we find. Maybe there's an even better way to do things. Probably not, but we should at least explore our options, and there's no way I'm not converting these treasures to cards. It's happening. What the hell? Deck is hating on me so hard today. Ah! Okay, good. So we'll Mastermind for something that can be really, really good. But I think this turn we'll stick to the Mortify Kai's Wrath play. Let's see. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah, we can't do something like Mastermind for Ethereal Absolution and then Kai's Wrath. Just doesn't work. If all this in our opponent top deck's like some kind of you know, way to kill me instantly like a Gruul Spellbreaker, break my heart. So, what can I get here? I could take this turn to do it. How many lands do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright, I just need 1 little turn. And the draw is... Will you break my heart again? Yes! Yes! Ah! Too much. Too much. The Banefire giveth. The Banefire taketh away. Boom! Some absolutely thrilling matches in the arena today, down to the wire. I certainly enjoyed them, and I hope that you did too. So, War of the Spark is coming. We are giving away an entire booster box, or I should say Flipside Gaming is giving away an entire booster box to a member of my community. All you have to do to enter is use the promo code CGB at checkout on flipsidegaming.com. The purchase has to be for $10 or more. The deadline is May 6th. Yes, you can pre-order War of the Spark and use the promo code CGB to save 10% and support the channel at the same time. You can also pre-order Modern Horizons, and you'll be entered into a drawing to win an entire booster box of War of the Spark product. So head on over to Flipside Gaming and check that out. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. You can also support the channel on Patreon for special perks. Links are in the description. Our sponsors are HauntedFlower.com and FlipsideGaming.com. Haunted Flower sells officially licensed MTG apparel and accessories, and Flipside Gaming sells MTG cards and supplies. You can save 10% on either site with the promo code CGB, and it supports the channel at the same time. See you next time for another day in the arena. For now, it's me, it's CGB, signing out.